Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, od yehallelucha Selah. Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, od yehallelucha Selah. Ashrei, Ashrei, Ashrei yoshvei beitecha. Ashrei, Ashrei, Ashrei yoshvei beitecha. Happy are those who dwell in your house. They will sing your praises forever. Happy are those who dwell in your house. They will sing your praises forever. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's almost not Shabbat, but we cannot close Shabbat without celebrating a bat mitzvah. So we are so excited to be here with Haylee today as she is called to the Torah as a bat mitzvah. It's so exciting. So thank you all for being here. My name is Cantor Jessica Hutchings, and I will be in partnership with Haylee as we conduct the service today. And as you'll see, she is a rabbi or a cantor in training. She is confident as I've ever seen a bat mitzvah. So we're very excited to have her. Just with a show of hands, is this anybody's first time in a synagogue or at a Jewish service? Okay, so a few. So we welcome you, first of all, and we want you to feel comfortable here. This is a participatory service, and you are welcome to participate and sing along. So we're going to teach you some of the melodies, and we're going to teach you a little bit about the space and the things that we're reading this morning. So this is our sanctuary. We have some points in the sanctuary that I'd like to point out so that you know that these are things that are standard in a synagogue. That is a very bright light, and it doesn't throw me off, but it may throw Haylee off. So, no, it actually throws me off too. Okay, so this is our Ner Tamid. So you might have noticed that you came to congregation Ner Tamid. It means eternal light. It is always on, and it is a symbol of the Jewish people always being, having our light on and having us be a proud people. But it has a lot of symbolism, and it is always on here, and it is a symbol of that eternal flame. We have our ark curtains. I call this our very Vegas ark because it is not controlled by a door, but instead by a button, and it is very grand. And inside it houses our Torah. And we have several Torahs here at the synagogue, and one was just dedicated and just commissioned and finished 2 weeks ago. And Haylee is one of the first people to ever read from this Torah. That will be today. And we'll have a chance for you to come up and look inside it should you wish to do so. Ooh, that's better. I like that one better. Okay. And this is where we're standing is called a bima. So unlike if you've ever heard it called to like a pulpit, bima actually translates to stage or a platform. So that is where all of our prayers will occur. So I want to teach you a couple of things to get you started, just in case you are new to this. So we are going to begin, we began with a prayer about the joy, the happiness, Ashrei, the people who come into this space, that may they seek joy. And we're going to begin very soon with Haylee leading us in a Chatzi Kaddish, which is a special prayer that kind of is a bookmark to the new part of our services in this afternoon. I'm going to teach you something called a nigun. A nigun sounds more complicated than it actually is. It is a wordless melody. So you'll just hear this melody once today, but it's important. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to teach you a nigun that we're going to use later in the service. And this service is special because it includes Havdalah. And Havdalah means separation. And it's separating our Shabbat from the rest of the week that will begin as soon as we conclude this service. And we'll have some special symbols of that, and I'll explain it when we get there. But it has its own melody, and you know that it's Havdalah when you hear it. So I'm going to teach you how it goes, and I want you to sing it back. And even if you don't know Hebrew or English, we all can share in the language of music, so please sing along. So this is how it goes. Ya la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la la ya la ya la 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 ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la. So let's learn it together. I'll sing a piece, you sing it back. Ya la ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la. Let's try that. Ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la. It's a little more complicated than the one I usually teach, but let's try it one more time. Again, nigun, it's a wordless melody. You can yai la la, fa la la, oodie da, whatever you want. It's wordless, and you make it your own. So let's try it one more time. Ya la ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la. One more time. Ya la ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la. Beautiful. Okay, so we want you to keep singing along. Even if you don't know Hebrew, you can always throw in a yai lalai or an amen. Okay? Okay, so now we've come to the exciting part of our service where we get to present Haylee with her talit. A talit is a prayer shawl. I have one around my neck as well. And it has, some of them have the blessing that we say on the Atorah, on the neckline. Others don't. And hers does. And her parents are going to present that to her. So I want to make sure I give a warm welcome again to everyone that is here that came from very far away. We have Poland and North Carolina and New York, New Jersey, California, and Florida. Did I miss anybody? Okay, well, we welcome you, and we're so excited that you're here. And because we're so excited, let's call up Jeff and Michelle to present the talit.
Haylee, with joy, delight, and lots of love, we are thrilled to be here celebrating you at your bat mitzvah.
We are also honored to have family and friends joining us from near, far, and very far away.
Thank you all. We appreciate you.
As cheesy as it sounds, time flies when you're having fun. These past 12 and a half years with you in our lives have been amazing. It's hard to believe how fast you've grown up. You used to fit right in the palm of my hand.
We are so proud of you and all that you have accomplished. You have such a caring, kind heart and adventurous spirit. You are smart and funny and beautiful inside and out.
Our wish for you is that you always remember that life is a roller coaster, filled with ups, downs, twists, and turns, and the occasional loop-de-loop. Our advice is you always do your best, find the funny in any situation, stay positive, and stop to smell the roses once in a while.
It is with great joy and pride that we present this tallis to you. This has great meaning to our family. It belonged to Grandma Harriet. We also got married under this tallis, and now we give it to you to wear proudly.
Most importantly, know that we are always there for you. We love you forever, and always happy bat mitzvah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahitatet batzitzit. We continue on page 342.
We're using our, that's good. We're using our Mishkan Tefillah Sidor. The book opens from right to left as the same way that Hebrew is read. And we're on page 342. If you didn't get one, they're in the back.
Yitgadol v'yitkadosh shemei Rabba Ve'amad divrah hiotei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechonu v'yomechon Ochayei dechol Beit Yisrael Bagala Bagala Uvizman Kariv Ve'imelu Amen Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Me'alama Me'almaya Yisbarach Yitzbarach Ve'yishtabach Ve'yitzpa'ar Ve'yitromam Ve'yitnasei Ve'yithadar Ve'yithaleh Ve'yitzalal Shmei Gekudusha Barehu Me'amin kol merhata V'shirata Tushbehata V'nehemata Damira Ve'alma V'imeru Amen. Please rise for the Amidah. Adonai Sefatei Siftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Adonai open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'Imoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Namnara El Elyon Gomel Hasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zoher Hazdei Avrot Mimahot V'Mevi Geula Lifnei V'Neihem L'man Shemo Be'ahaba Melech Hozer Mashiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'Zvat Sarah Tagibor Le'lamanai Mehayei Hakol Antarav Le'Yoshia Mashif HaRuach U'Marid HaGashem Mechakel Hayim V'Hesed Mehayei Hakol Merachamim Rabim Somet Novlim Ve'Ofer Holim U'Matir Atzarim U'Mekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamochal Bal Geverot U'Mido Melach Melech Mimi to Mekayem U'Matzmi V'Shua Manatal Hayot Hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mehayei Hakol.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו אדיר
To all generations we will declare your greatness, and for all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God.
Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated.
All right, so if you are part of Haylee's B'nai Mitzvah class, you should begin making your way up to the bima. And we're going to make a little jump backward in your siddur to our morning prayers.
And my friends and cousins to help me lead to Yishmehu on page 250.
All right, so if you were here last night for our services, you learned a little dance. And anybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah? Who was here last night? A couple people? Okay, great. All right. So if you weren't here last night, let me explain. So our service is about the joy of Shabbat. And so we show joy in lots of ways. And one of the ways that we can express our joy is by being a little bit silly. So we realize that this dance is very silly, but that brings us a little bit more joy. So normally we call up the B'nai Mitzvah class, but Haylee wanted all of her friends up here for this prayer, and so I told her that she had to teach everybody the dance. Did she do that before, or she just randomly?
Some people.
Some people, okay. All right, so we're going to teach all of you together. Now, even though everybody is up here and they're going to be leading the dance, everybody down here also gets to do the dance because it brings them joy to watch you as it's going to bring you joy to watch them. So here's how it goes. You guys ready? You guys ready? All right, here we go. So it goes like this. Everybody ready to demonstrate?
Yismehu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei Oneg Shabbat.
So we do that 8 times. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. My promise to you is that if you don't do it, everyone's going to look at you. If you do the dance, then you will feel better in 3 minutes than you do right now. I can't tell you exactly how much better, but I can promise marginally better. So that is what this dance will do for you. So we're going to try it one more time because you didn't prove to me that you were going to participate. So let's try it one more time.
Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei Oneg Shabbat.
All right, now you're ready. Let's do it.
Yismehu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Yismehu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei Oneg Shabbat.
Mekadeshei Shemi Shabbat Kulam Yisme'u V'yitangu mitu v'chashabat.
Here we go.
Yismehu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Yismehu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei Oneg Shabbat.
V'hashvir ratzita bo v'kidashta Shabbat Chemdat yamim Oto karata
Shabbat. Add a smile.
Yismehu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Yismehu v'malechutecha
Thank you all so much. You did a great job. And now you feel a little bit better. It's true. It's true. Just a little bit? Just a little bit. I know, it's only a little bit. There's only so much. I'm not a doctor. Okay. All right. Well, that was some extra fun to add to our service. And now we're going to, hopefully you left your finger where we were so that you can flip back to those pages.
We continue on page 357. For the gift of our souls, for the promise of our lives, for all we are and all we might yet become, for the creative seeds sown within our minds, whose nurturing can yield a grand harvest. For all these gifts, we thank you, O God, and pray that we prove ourselves worthy.
May our lives be ripe with the fruit of compassion, sweetly sustaining those in need. May we use our gifts wisely and with love, true messengers of blessing to the world. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'chaneh lehodot.
We continue in silent prayer.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom, ki ata hu melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim
So we turn a couple pages forward to our Torah service. This is the part that we've all been waiting for because Haylee becomes a bat mitzvah officially during this part of our service. So before we get to that, a little bit about the Torah portion. Our Torah portion this week is Mishpatim, and Haylee will be talking about it in her Dvar Torah, and the Torah portion right after the Ten Commandments. So this is a really juicy Torah portion with lots of laws and things that we should be observing and taking notice of in our Torah portion, in this part of the story. For anyone who is new to Judaism, or this is one of your first services, you don't know a lot about Judaism, we follow the stories of our Torah from Genesis through Deuteronomy throughout the entire year of the life of the entire cycle year. And we started over after Rosh Hashanah. We have a holiday called Simchat Torah, where we unroll the entire Torah and roll it all the way back to the very beginning and start again. And we do it this way because there's always something to study and learn about that we may have missed in the year before. So we are going to invite up, I'm going to move to this side and invite up some special guests to our bima. We have, for opening the ark, Chet and Narit Stites, Claudia Soto, and Michelle Lebenberg, as well as Michelle and Jeff, parents. And then raise your hand if you are Nori, Scott, Elliott, and Evan Patrick. Great. So when the Torah comes all the way around and makes its way back up, you should follow it because you'll be undressing the Torah. Page 362.
Ein kamacha v'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kemasecha. Malchutecha,
Please rise.
malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch leolam v'od, Adonai oz le'amoitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Av harachamim heitiv avirtzoncha et Zion. Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim. Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim. Kivecha levad batachnu, Melech el Ram v'nisa, Adon olamim.
Into our hands, O God, you have placed your Torah to be held high by parents and children and taught by one generation to the next.
Whatever has befallen us, our people have remained steadfast in loyalty to the Torah. It was carried into exile in the arms of parents that their children might not be deprived of their birthright.
And now we pray that you, Haylee, will always be worthy of this inheritance, take its teachings into your heart, and in turn pass it on to your children and those who come after you.
May you be a faithful Jew, searching for wisdom and truth, working for justice and peace. Thus will you be among those who labor to bring nearer the day when God shall be one and God's children shall be one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Mo.
God lula Adonai iti uneromema shemo yachdav. Follow me. Lecha Adonai dula v'gevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'ha'od. Ki
Just stand there.
Nori, anything special about the yacht?
Yeah, you should.
Do you want to say something special with the yacht?
Please. Yeah.
All right, you can be seated as the Torah is seated. And we have a very special presentation. One of the things that we need in order to read Torah from the actual scroll is something called a yod. And a yod is a pointer. It translates to a hand and actually translates to the entire arm. And this yod is very important because we cannot touch the actual skin of the Torah. The actual parchment that it's on is made from a kosher animal's skin. This one's made from a cow skin. And we can't touch it with our fingers because the oils in our fingers can mess with there's like the chemical reaction of our oils in our fingers and the actual ink in the Torah, and we want to preserve them for a very long time. Although this one's only 2 weeks old, the Torahs that are in our ark range all the way up to 250 years old, and we are able to do that because we use a yod when we are touching inside the Torah. So there are a couple of important yods. This one that's for the new Torah came from Israel, and there's one that Haylee's been practicing with, which we call lovingly our Anne Frank yod. I got it at a museum in Amsterdam, at the Anne Frank Museum, and when a young person reads using this yod, it's as if they are giving Anne Frank the bat mitzvah that she was never able to get. So it's very special yod, and Haylee was able to use it to read, but now she gets one that's special just for her.
Sure. So this yod I brought back from Israel, and it has been used in our family, starting with Elliot and Evan's older cousins, and has been passed on, and all of the cousins prior to your bat mitzvah had used it, and we wanted you to use it. So we're so honored that you agreed to do so, and may you have just a beautiful celebration of you becoming a woman, and we love you so much.
All right, well, as they're making their way down to their seats, if you raised your hand in the beginning of the service and said you had never been to a Jewish service, this was your first time in a synagogue, now you get to come up onto the bima and see inside our Torah if you want. Or if you've never seen inside of a Torah, you're curious, you're welcome to make your way up to the bima, and we're going to take a little look inside. So this is something unique to our synagogue. Not all clergy will have this kind of presentation during a bar or bat mitzvah to see inside the Torah. So this is a very cool thing that we're doing. I'll begin with the fact that we have it covered. So we used a talit out of respect. We keep it covered unless we're reading from it. But because we're going to look in it, I'll open it up. And this talit is special because it was from my bat mitzvah. Okay, so as you can see, we have a very beautiful Torah here. The Torah contains the 5 books of Moses: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. It is the foundational law of the Jewish people. It is not the Hebrew Bible in its entirety. It is the first part. And it's very special because it is handwritten word for word, letter for letter, by a special person named a sofer, which translates to a scribe. Our scribe is from the holy city of Miami, Florida, but our Torah comes from Israel. Now, I am very excited to show you this Torah because you know when you go shopping for and you buy your favorite pair of shoes or it's something very special you've been wanting so bad? I got to pick out this Torah, every piece of it. And so I carry that honor with me, and I'm so excited to share it with all of you today. So if you see any of the other Torahs, if you get a glimpse of the other Torahs, they have this, we call this the Atzei Chaim, which it means the tree of life, because it's the wood. So yes, it's physically the wood from a tree that comes from a tree, but it is symbolically what connects us to our tree of life, which is the continuation of the Jewish people. Most of them are typical wood with some ornamentation etched in them. None that I have ever seen are this cool. So it has this beautiful teal color, which ironically is one of the colors of Haylee becoming bat mitzvah, one of her theme colors. And if you look at the top part, we have some beautiful crystals and ornamentation, as well as some cool plexiglass instead of wood, making it a very beautiful Torah in just its ornamentation alone. Inside the Torah is text. So right now we're in the book of Exodus. It's really cool because if you want to come closer, you can. And I have a little step stool if you're small and need to get a little boost. This part of our Torah portion was read last week, and it's the Ten Commandments. So most of us are familiar with that story. If you have it in your Christian Bible or you've just seen the movie, you know you hear the Ten Commandments, you know they were passed down at Mount Sinai to Moses. And it begins here with Kabed et avicha ve'et imecha, which parents really like that line because it means honor your father and your mother. Okay? And all of these words right here say lo, 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 lo. Lo means no. It means don't do this, and don't do that, and don't do that. So it's all there for us, the Ten Commandments. But that was last week. And this week, we begin with these words here, Ve'ele hamishpatim. And these are the laws. So it's kind of like a parent, like the overarching parent of us all, God, saying, all right, I brought you into freedom. Now you have some responsibility. So here are the laws that are set forth before you. So in a sense, Haylee has this cool opportunity to tell us all, listen up, guys, here's the laws. She's like the police officer of the week. Okay. So it's really cool. As you can see, if you get really close, you can see that the font, it's not font from a computer, it's actually someone's handwriting, but it has these beautiful ornamentation of these crowns in it to kind of make it look beautiful. And I picked this font specifically because the sofer specifically by his font, by the way he writes when I saw his sample, because it's very clear. So Hebrew can be difficult to read if you look at from a computer copy. This one. Hebrew is difficult to read on its own, but sometimes the Torah, if the sofer has a very difficult handwriting, it makes it even more difficult to read. So I wanted a font that was going to be easy for our B'nai Mitzvah students to read from. So I think this one is clear, and I like that. Any questions specifically that you have about the Torah, where we are in the Torah? Nothing? Okay, what do you know about the Torah already? Was there something you wanted to see specifically in the Torah? Yes. Great question. So we had 6 Torahs. Now we have 7. Is that right? Now I'm trying to count in my head. Okay. And that's because that's how many were donated. So, like I said, our Torahs range all the way to 250 years old. The baby one that Haylee was holding as a Holocaust survivor Torah, it's over 200 years old. It's very difficult to read because the font is so very small. And it's not considered kosher at the moment because there are parts where it's been smudged a little bit, so we have to get the sofer to fix it. The other Torahs are constantly, every year we have the sofer come and look at them, make sure that they're staying in good condition. So most of them are about 100 years old and they've been donated. So the baby one, we call it our Polis Torah. That family's actually here today. They donated that Torah. The other Torahs were donated from museums and different families over the years. And this one was the first one ever commissioned for our congregation. So it was a very exciting event. You may have seen it. If you live in Las Vegas, you may have seen it on the news that we made a big deal of it because we got a brand new Torah, which is something that doesn't happen very often. So I'm very honored to do this. And I have to tell you, the best part about today, as far as Haylee reading the Torah, is that I was the first one to read out of it last week. I marked my bat mitzvah of 25 years by being the first one to read out of Yitro, the Ten Commandments, followed by a bat mitzvah, followed by a bat mitzvah, meaning 3 women read out of this Torah first before any man, which is pretty cool because previously that would have never been allowed. So we say girl power, right? Yeah, okay. All right, girls rock. So we're very excited that the first people to read from this Torah happen to say we are the imahot, the mothers of this Torah. So I think that's a pretty good overview. If there's anything I missed, please ask. Anything? Okay. Well, the test will be right after Haylee reads, so hopefully you remembered everything. Just kidding. No test today. Okay, thank you so much. And you can take a closer look on your way down if you want. Okay, so our first aliyah to the Torah, and aliyah is being called up to read the special blessing that enters us into the Torah. So our first aliyah today. Ya'amdu, Barry and Ethan Markowitz, Eric and Yoko Markowitz, Rishon.
Adonai Hambarak Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hambarak Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher B'charabanu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet L'chayei Olam Natav B'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Yes, sure. Go ahead and go on this side. I should also point out, the Torah does not have vowels or trope markings. The trope markings teach us the melody. So I use something called a tikkun, which actually gives me the missing vowels and trope markings, and I use a color coding system, it looks like this, in order to correctly say all of the words out of the Torah without the vowels being there. So you might be wondering, like, how does Haylee do it? she memorized exactly how her portion goes, and she memorized all of those missing vowels and trope markings, and then she looks at the actual letters in order to know where she is and how to read it. So it's pretty cool, difficult, but very cool technique to learn. All right. Ya'amdu, Brenda and Ted Hirsch, Shani.
Amen. Im begafo yavo, begafo yetse im baal, ashe eshe hu yetse hu, ishto imo. Im Adonai yitain lo, ash isha ve'elda lo ve'vinam, o banot ha'isha ve'elda tihiyeh l'Adonai, ve'hu yetze begafo. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, ve'chayei haolam natan, v'takainu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Ya'amod, Fred Markowitz, Shlishi. The third aliyah goes to Fred Markowitz. It's instead of Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, Sisterhood of the Traveling Tallis.
Baruchu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam bo'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah hamvarach le'Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kachab banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ve'im omer yomar ha'eved ahavti et Adoni et ishti ve'et bnei elo etze chofshi ve'hagisho Adonav el ha'Elohim ve'hagisho el ha'delet o el ha'mechozeh verotze Adonav et azanav bemartea ve'avdo le'olam.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yashika. Ya'amdu, Michelle and Jeff Hirsch, Rivi. For our fourth Aliyah, we call parents Jeff and Michelle.
Baruch et Adonai Hamavarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarak Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher nata lanu Torah emet. V'hayei olam nata betohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Tamod, 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 Tamod. Hayar ela bat Yona umalka. Hamaftir. Hazaka, Hazaka, Hazaka. All right, so as Haley's making her way up to do the maftir, which is the concluding Torah portion of this parsha, Mishpatim, as soon as she finishes, who is in charge of the candy? All right, so candy, people who are in charge of candy, we're not throwing it yet, we're passing it out. As soon as she finishes, you're going to quickly pass it out. And when she concludes her speech in a few more minutes, then we will throw the candy at her. And the reason we're throwing candy at her is not because we want to do it really hard and hit her and create a bruise. This one's from last week. We want to throw the candy at her to wish her a sweet life. So your cue for the candy is going to be me going like this, okay? All right, because you want to hit her, not me. She's the one that needs a sweet life, all right? All right, so be ready. So candy kids, you're going to be ready. As soon as she finishes her blessing, closing the Torah portion, make your way around and pass out that candy. So you're not eating the candy, you're holding on to it to toss the candy shortly.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Vaya'al Moshe el hahar, vaykas ha'anan et hahar, vayishkon kavod Adonai al har Sinai, vayakasehu ha'anan sheshet yamim, vayikra el Moshe Hayom hashvi'i mitoch ha'anan, umarei kavod Adonai, ke'esh ohelet perosh hahar, le'enei b'nei Yisrael. Vayavo Moshe letoch ha'anan, vaya'al el hahar, vayehi Moshe V'har arba'im yom v'arba'im layla. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'hayei olam natan b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
All right, how do you feel?
Mine is weird.
All right, so now we call upon Marnie, Michael, Dalton, and Francesca Black for dressing the Torah, and closing of the ark will be cousins Michelle, Jackie, Aaron, Lori, and Mitch. So if any of those people are you, make your way up here. And if you are a candy kid, Ethan, Emily, or Caden, please begin to quickly pass out that candy.
Vizot HaTorah asher, please rise. Sam Moshe, Vizot HaTorah, Vizot HaTorah asher, Sam Moshe, Vizot HaTorah, Lifnei B'nei Yisrael, Vizot HaTorah, Al Pi Adonai B'yad Moshe, Vizot HaTorah, Vizot HaTorah asher Sam Moshe, Vizot HaTorah, Vizot HaTorah asher Sam Moshe, Vizot HaTorah.
All right, we turn to page 374. If you're one of our Ark openers, you're going to make your way over to the Ark. We're going to return our Sefer Torah to Aron HaKodesh. Please open the Ark, page 374.
Eitz Chaim Hila Machazikim Ba V'Tom Checha Me'oshar Deracheha Darchei Noam V'chol Netivoteha Shalom
right. I can hear the candy, so I know you've got it. That's great. Let's make sure everything's in order. Just 2 pages, right?
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you all for coming out tonight. It means a lot to me that you are all here to celebrate this beautiful occasion. My Torah portion is called Mishpatim. It's taken from the book of Exodus. It covers over 50 different laws that helped guide the Israelites as they wandered in the desert and assisted them to become a more organized community. Having just escaped slavery, the only laws that they knew were the ones from Egypt. This would allow them to decide how to govern themselves. One of the laws in Mishpatim deals with how we should treat each other, even when it concerns your worst enemy. Imagine you were living 3,500 years ago. Your livelihood is dependent on a farm that requires a donkey. The donkey is there to help carry things, is there to protect other animals, and to serve as transportation. As you can see, the donkey is very important. So if it were to go missing, your family would be very worried. Well, as it turns out, the donkey does, and the worst enemy has found it. However, something strange happens. The worst enemy returns the donkey. He knows that your life depends on this, and that it's a law to be kind to others. This is a huge mitzvah, or good deed, and you would be so grateful. Well, this is not always an easy mitzvah to do. Not because I don't own a donkey, but because when I get mad at someone, probably the last thing I would want to do is help them out. However, the Torah understands that for a society to be good, everyone has to do their best to get along and not hold a grudge, regardless of who it is. My main mitzvah project was painting rocks for King David's cemetery. During COVID, when I walked around the neighborhood, I would see painted rocks. That would always put a smile on my face. Jewish tradition teaches us that whenever we visit the grave of someone, we should leave a rock upon the tombstone as a sign that we came to visit. I thought it would be nice to paint rocks for people to leave. In total, I painted 500 river rocks for the cemetery with words like love, peace, hope, remembrance, and miss you. I also painted some hearts and stars of David. Additionally, I ran a bake sale and raised over $300 for 2 organizations that are near and dear to my heart: Special Strides and Smile Train. Smile Train is a therapeutic horseback riding center for kids with special needs. It is also owned by my cousin Lori. Kids who go to Special Strides get so much help with their functional ability. I watched a virtual gala during COVID, and doctors told the parents of a kid that she wouldn't be able to walk. Well, after going through Special Strides, she can. I thought that was amazing. Smile Train is an organization to raise money for kids with cleft lips and cleft palates. I've been donating there since I was a little kid. At that time, I donated extra coins. Now I give more than spare change. I chose to donate to these places because they are very special to me. Not all children are born healthy, but it feels good to help any way that we can. I will always demonstrate commitment to my Jewish faith. For example, last year there wasn't a Hanukkah song in my winter choir concert. I was upset about that and decided to do a solo Hanukkah song. This year, because of that, there was a song that actually ended up being most people's song of the night. And in the future, I will try my best to go to services every week. I'd like to thank my parents for helping me with everything, except math. You really are awesome and have taught me so much. You give me unconditional love and shower me with hugs and kisses. My grandparents spoil me and celebrate today, so I'm really blessed to have them too. I am so appreciative of my whole family and friends for traveling near and far, like from Poland, to be here today and celebrate with me. I'd also like to thank Cantor Hutchings, Rabbi Axelrod, Miss Lois, my Hebrew tutor, and Eddie for playing the piano. I want to show gratitude to all my friends and teachers. To my friends, thank you for getting me through tough times, middle school drama, and lots of tests. You make life even more fun. My teachers for supporting me to practice my Torah portion and prayers in class. Last but not least, I'm thankful for my puppy Hudson for being the cutest spirited fur baby. He makes me laugh and gives me unconditional love. Dear God, thank you for this glorious day. I pray for peace, health, and well-being. I'm so lucky to have such wonderful people in my life. Thank you for all the wonderful experiences. I look forward to many more, including Knights games, Go Knights Go, and cruises. So let the celebration begin.
Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon
Yes!
Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov.
Come on! Come on!
Kids, go up and get it.
Yeah! For me.
All right. You're a woman today.
Aw.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now you can eat the candy if you got some candy. But I better not find those wrappers in the sanctuary. It's a holy space, so put it in your pocket and throw it in the trash can on your way out. Thank you. All right. So we are so very proud of Haylee, and in a moment I'll have the honor of blessing her at the Ark. But first, I wanted to show you something that I thought about right before your service, and I thought maybe I can find a couple of pictures. And sure enough, I did, because we go way back. And you're one of my first students who I remember doing Shabbat Sing with when you were in preschool. So I found some pictures, and actually, Adina, you know this one too. The Purim processional went by my office. This is circa 2014, okay? And I found, let's see here, a little selfie after Shabbat Sing in the corner there. And I found another selfie, and always front and center. That's where Haylee always belongs. So some good times have been had here, and I hope that continues, and I hope this place is always a special place to you, and you are so important to us. Now, your Mitzvah project is really, really special. It's one of my favorites because, you know, a time when we've experienced any sadness and death, it's people feel a lot of darkness in their life, and they know that they're supposed to put a stone on a grave and remember their loved one. And because stones persist, they, unlike flowers, which wither and die, stones persist. So we leave these stones to leave a piece of ourselves behind and take a piece of that memory along with us. And so the fact that you decided to take that mitzvah and make it even more of a mitzvah by making it a beautiful mitzvah, by giving it color, just shows what an amazing human being you are. And personally, when my grandfather passed away and it was time for his unveiling, where we unveiled his headstone, and that's when you begin to put the stones on headstones, I went to the beach and I looked for special stones to put there because I didn't want to put any old rock. And so now, people who don't have the opportunity to go to the beach or find a special stone, all they have to do is go to the front desk at King David and pick up a special stone and find a special one just for them. And tomorrow, I sadly have 2 funerals and an unveiling, and I will make sure that all the families know where the rocks are and who painted them, and that they can place those beautiful stones with their loved ones. So thank you for that beautiful gift. So we're going to rise for a moment. I'm going to give Haylee a very special blessing, and we're going to begin to conclude our service. You can leave that there. So I'm really, really proud of you.
Thank you.
So we say a very special prayer that we thank God for bringing us to this sacred moment in Haylee's life, and we hope that there are many more to come. We say our Shehechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh You may be seated unless you are a representative that's giving a gift. So Michelle and Danny and Eric. Eric will be representing the Mensch Club, Danny our Temple Board, and Michelle our Sisterhood. And we have some very special gifts for you.
Haylee, your hair looks fantastic. Hire the person you did that who did it earlier, another time. Just wanted to say congratulations, and in honor of the board, we would like to present you with the tzedakah box. Thank you. Start using that tzedakah box and putting your money for your charity in it, and hopefully each month or a couple months in, you can take that down to your charity and give them a good donation. So.
Haylee, first I want to say your dress is beautiful. And I feel very honored to be here, first to represent Sisterhood, and first because I've known your grandparents, Ted and Brenda, for, what do we say, 36 years? Through my cousins Phil and Sharon, who are here celebrating with you. So it's my pleasure. You're a remarkable young lady. Your mitzvah projects, your service was beautiful. And I have to tell you, that smile is very contagious. So on behalf of Sisterhood, we present you with some candlesticks. We hope that you will always light the Shabbat candles. And remember, when you use those candlesticks, we hope you remember this very special day. Mazel tov to you and to your family and to everybody here.
First of all, I'm seeing your tallis up close. It's beautiful. The gift from the Mensch Club is a pen, and a letter or something written will likely hold someone's attention longer than an email. Your friends at the Mensch Club think your words and ideas are important and worth listening to. So in an age where handwritten letters are almost obsolete, your friends and family will enjoy the feeling of receiving a personalized letter. So consider this pen a reminder of that.
Thank you so much, everyone. Everyone's so proud of you, and now I get to present in public what we signed privately, which is your bat mitzvah certificate. So I was explaining to Haylee that back in the day when I was bat mitzvah, and up until probably around 2014, the URJ, the Union for Reform Judaism, would give this lovely gift, $250 to go to Israel. Not even 25 years ago was $250 enough to even get you a plane ticket to Israel. So it was a very nice gesture, but it wasn't realistic if you couldn't afford the trip to Israel. However, a wonderful donor has come in to give a gift that's a little more substantial, and so she is the second student to receive this very special scholarship if she chooses to use it, for $3,250 if she wants to go to Israel in a couple of years. So that's pretty cool. We hope that she uses it. And her certificate is it's called the Te'udat Bat Mitzvah, a certificate of Bat Mitzvah. And we hope that you frame it and you hold it special in your home wherever you go. And it has very special symbolism. It reminds you why you stand here today on this bima and where you're going to go from here. So we're very honored to give that to you. And my personal gift to you was made by me and with help from my 3-year-old. But it's something new that I've always given kippot, the head coverings, to our bat mitzvah students because much like the Torah, it wasn't something that girls were allowed to or encouraged to do, but there's no reason that we can't. So I always wanted to empower every young woman that shared the bima with me that she too could wear a kippah and have these traditions of Judaism as part of her everyday life. And I would always like scout out really beautiful kippot that were made by different artists. And the one that I used, I think she went out of business. And so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna start creating my own. And so I hope you like it. It has the colors that I thought were very special for you. And when I saw what your dress was gonna be, I added some purple. And I put the letter chet on her kippah, which is for Chaya, which is the first part of her Hebrew name. So hopefully it's something special that you wear more than just today, anytime you're in a sacred space or doing something Jewish, and say, I am a woman and I can wear a kippah too, okay? All right, so now you've gotten the gifts. You read from the Torah. You gave your speech. So we're going to start to conclude our service. We are going to rise on page 586. We're going to do our Aleinu prayer. We're going to do our mourner's Kaddish. And then we're going to do something very special. So be ready. Page 586.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
We remain standing for our mourner's Kaddish. If there is someone you are thinking of that has recently passed away, or someone whose yortzeit you remembering anniversary of death, or just someone who's in your heart that's no longer with us, we encourage you to say their names aloud at this time. Remember all of them and all those who have no one to say Kaddish for them on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha b'richu la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world, to which we say, amen. So instead of being seated, which I normally would tell you to do so we could have Kiddush and Motzi, we're going to do something. It's going to take a little coordination, a little listening, a lot of listening, and it's going to be awesome. So as we transition out of Shabbat into the new week, we are going to do a little Havdalah ceremony. It's very brief, but it's better when we are a little more Hamish, a little more close together. So we're going to make a giant circle, and the circle is going to go from the bottom of the stairs all the way around us, up to the ark, and all the way around. It might end up looking more like an oval, but we want everyone to be around the family, surrounding the family. So come on up.
Havdalah is not for the close of Shabbat alone, it is for all the days. Havdalah means separate yourself from the unholy, strive for holiness. Havdalah means separate yourself from fraud and exploration. Be fair and honest with all people. Havdalah means separate yourself from indifference to the poor and the deprived, the sick and the aged. Work to ease their despair and their loneliness. Havdalah means separate yourself from hatred and violence. Promote peace among people and nations. May God give us all understanding to reject the unholy and to choose the way of holiness. May God, who separates the unholy from the profane, inspire us to perform these acts of Havdalah.
So we have several symbols of Havdalah, of our separation. We're going to have our wine or our juice. So we'll have one of our parents hold that. You're not going to want to sip that one. I saw some candle wax in it. And then we have our spices. So we have the sweetness that is Shabbat. We have the spiciness that reminds us of all the senses that we love about Shabbat. And we have our candle. This is a special candle. Sometimes it has multiple wicks. This one does, but they're built into the center. And we call it Aish, which is fire. And Haylee will hold it up very tall when we get to that blessing, as tall as she wants her future spouse to be. And then we will extinguish the fire into the juice, and that moment, we'll try to put the microphone right next to it so you can hear the extinguishing of the fire that will officially separate Shabbat from the rest of the week. Are we ready? You know the melody because we practiced it at the beginning. Here we go. hear it?
Yes, yes.
All right, we're going to do a little motzi. Baruch
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Hanavi,
Eliyahu hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu
Giladi,
Oh, okay.
Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Shavua Tov, 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 Shavua Tov.
Amory.
A good week, a week of peace. Make gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. Make gladness reign and joy increase.
And we say Mazel Tov to Haylee. And we are so excited to celebrate with you now in our social hall. And we close with this prayer of peace for all the world. Thank you again to Eddie Birch on piano. Oh,
Say shalom ne'lamah, say shalom aleinu, ve'yakol Yisrael, v'imilu, say shalom, say shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'yakol Yisrael. Say shalom, say shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'yakol Yisrael.
Say shalom, say shalom, shalom aleinu.
You have?
ve'yakol Yisrael.
Sorry, I don't know.
Say shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'yakol Yisrael.
Amazon.
Say shalom,
Thanks.
shalom aleinu,
Ve'yakol Yisrael, v'imilu. Amen.
Did it.
Shavua Tov, everyone.
What about the grape juice?
Oh, you can pass it out, yeah.
Yay.